Let us agree in advance to not complicate the criminal justice issue that will be a key part of this website by giving a nano ounce of homage or respect to contemptible political correctness that seemingly is overtaking the prosecutorial and judicial systems in too many counties and even states across the United States. Unfortunately, there now seems to be growing evidence of this trend escalating in Harris County. And while the issue is not particularly difficult or even challenging to analyze, I must admit that I have not focused my attention upon it. Recently, there have been news stories on issues involving the Houston Police Department. I am not unaware of concerns there, but while that is an important issue, it is a totally different issue. If my website and mission get the support I need, that's all going to change starting now. It's mostly about numbers. Organizing and analyzing numbers in conjunction with public policy is my sweet spot. I'm pretty good at it. But first, let me get some of my conservative philosophy out of the way. Because once the serious research starts, it's going to be about empirical reality. It's going to be about data analysis of what's happening, how often it is happening, and who's responsible. It's going to go to the bottom lines. What demonstrable impact are developments imposing upon our communities, our families, our law enforcement agencies and their officers, and the entire criminal justice system? As Jack Webb's Sergeant Joe Friday said on Dragnet, just the facts. But here's my philosophy. When a defendant has been released on kissy-poo bail conditions in some misguided concept of social justice equity and then kills a cop, that constitutes a moral, ethical, and needless human atrocity that tears at the soul of our society's fabric. To the degree that this is a growing concept of social justice equity and that it is systemically expanding in practice here, it constitutes a grave threat to our families and our communities. It will sabotage vigorous law enforcement. If it is a concept of making things right about the bad actions or tragic mistakes of individual officers or departments, it is a monstrous solution that will have a devastating impact upon our future. Here's the truth in one brutal bullet point. There are bad doctors, lawyers, certified public accountants, priests and preachers, classroom teachers, social workers, and God help us, even journalists and website publishers. You name the profession. That profession has bad actors doing bad things that harm good people. They operate while they're drunk. They cheat clients. They steal money. In every profession, there are bad actors that do bad things. However, when the forces of political correctness take a small percentage of episodic bad deeds to literally defame the entire fabric of law enforcement in our society is literally at risk. And practices that work their way into key government institutions because of that philosophy are dangerous. In this, my last public policy project, my recent discussions with rank and file law enforcement officers and deputies have literally compelled my sense of moral outrage and duty to add this soft on crime issue to this website's agenda. 6 months ago, when I conceived of this website project, the dastardly attacks on law enforcement and the gross compromises of public safety we are seeing nationwide were not on my agenda. Then I recently had an opportunity to visit with those 3 rank and file law enforcement officers whose stories shook me to my core. I cannot and will not walk away from this issue at this point in my life. But more than coming to law enforcement's defense, this website will make every effort to put those forces of liberal and radical theology that want to defund or devalue or demean those brave and courageous women and men who put on the badge and take an oath to protect the rest of us to the best of their ability, 24 hours a day, every day of the year. It's now on my agenda, so long as I can get the cooperation and support that I need to do it in a professional, disciplined, data-driven, case study, and methodical way. Political philosophy and ideology aside, let's get it down to where Sergeant Joe Friday lives forever. Just the facts.